Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Paradise Killer, where our big conversations with Henry and Akiko were not super helpful. I think we learned like maybe two important, useful things. Number one, the thing about Henry seeing the god, whose name I already forgotten, whose only statue is inside the barracks, is definitely significant. And number two, Akiko is not even kind of trying to appear not suspicious, which I assume means that she thinks that she's immune from consequences for the things she's obviously a part of here. Which is, I mean, it's interesting, but it's not necessarily going to get us any closer to where we're going. So what's our move now? I'm really not sure what ought to be next. I mean, we gotta talk to Lydia. Maybe this is time to talk to Lydia. We gotta talk to Doomjazz again for sure. Have we actually been in the area that's marked as the Mountain Gorge? Here, let's go catch up with Doomjazz. I definitely have some questions for him. And from there, it shouldn't be too hard to reach the gorge and just see if there's anything we missed there. And then, yeah, it might be time to talk to Lydia, because I definitely have a lot of questions about a lot of tire tracks for her. Alright, you. I need information. And you need a shirt. Look at how long this man's torso is. It's very upsetting. Let's hang out. You got a sec? Well, how's the investigation going? Caught a bad guy yet? I think I've got some handcuffs somewhere around here. Okay, dude, calm down. How many people have you used them on? Oh, only a few special ones. Still not settled down then. Ha, not that kind of guy. Too much to experience. I know that, like, this is... Given the momentum of the investigation, this is not a good time to be hanging out, but I'm worried that if we don't, like, push our reputation upward, we're gonna have a hard time getting the information out of him. You know, it's a small island, not that much to experience. Every person's unique. Each island has a lot of new people. Relationships with citizens are forbidden, though.
Wonderful!
Do you want me to get the handcuffs? Want to take me in? You replaced your arms. Oh, nice topic change. It does seem a little arbitrary. It's an updated model by MHI. They have improved haptics in the fingers. Strictly for medical purposes, I'm sure. Want to test them? Buddy, this is... I guess I'm gonna continue being... I was gonna say friendly. Definitely more than friendly here. We're trying to get this dude on our side because he clearly knows some stuff. But I gotta be honest with you, I'm not really in the mood right now, given everything that's going on.
Sorry.
You know, I'm supposed to be investigating a mass murder.
I've got all the time in the world.
Everyone's supposed to do a lot of things. Let's see what happens later.
I've got all the time in the world for you.
Okay, he's still going big. I understand the key to your heart is information. Yeah, we already had this part of the conversation, didn't we? Okay, he's just telling us that there's a new probe available, I guess. Do you have something you want to tell the investigator? Oh, Akiko's in trouble. She's been mixing business and pleasure. The council found out. And they're planning on stripping her of authority on the next island. Oh, that's interesting information. That adds another shade to her motivation to expand the authority of the marshals. Mixing business and pleasure.
What?
Well, I'm not giving the details out.
Love died. All that
And
remained
who told you?
I had nothing to do with this.
Ice Kiwami, a while before he died. He gets loose-lipped after a drink.
Sure.
And who told Akiko?
Indeed.
I get loose-lipped around a woman in power armor. You know, I can understand this weakness.
Oh, I'm glad to be back.
Well, thank you, Doctor. Okay, that's definitely interesting. So, really, we can go... Didn't we already talk to him about, like, a bunch of this stuff? Oh, but we have new information. No, we don't. This is not new information. We had this when we talked to him before, didn't we? Maybe I talked to him before I looked inside the yacht. Hey, what's with the photo of Akiko in your boat?
Investigator.
None of your business, investigator. But
That's not nice.
I said none of your business. Leave it. Okay. All of a sudden, all the flirty is gone. You know, Akiko thinks the demon tricked the inhibitors, and that's how Henry escaped. Well, it's certainly a theory. Okay, is it a good one, though? Well, there's no proof. I can't say anything without proof.
Worried.
We've never encountered this phenomenon before, but every race of demons is different. That's worth considering, but you need to try and find proof before relying on a theory. I'll keep that in mind. That's a weirdly rebuffy answer. Like, he really doesn't want to talk about that. And what about death screams? Could they cause an adrenaline burst?
How?
Maybe, but I don't know how you'd weaponize a death scream. Well, what about one of these?
How?
Huh, it looks like it records death screams. Is that a directional speaker? It is. So how would you record a death scream? Well, you could record... I definitely emphasized the wrong words in that. You could record the brain activity using electrodes. This device looks like it has a crystal in it. Some crystals are capable of recording emotions. Okay. The death scream gets written to that, and upon stimulation, the crystal would output the scream. It's a one-shot use, though. Now you can see the crystal is burnt out. I could never experience the death screams, as I'm not a sufferer. I presume you want my opinion, though. The demon that possessed Henry is attuned to psychic energy, and this could have been used to agitate it. That's handy if you wanted to turn Henry into a weapon. I mean, again, provided that that's even a thing that really happens. Like, we don't know for sure that making the demon mad would allow it to overcome the inhibitors. I guess it seems like it's just being accepted as fact by everybody, so maybe I should also be accepting it as a fact of the world, but I feel like it's a thing we don't actually know yet. Doc, the third Holy Seal is a blood lock coded to Council blood.
Hypothetically?
Well, that makes
The
sense.
investigator is here.
So, who's got Council blood?
The island is about to end!
Is this a trick question, Love Dies? Only the Council. What if that wasn't true, though?
Why?
Are you asking if someone secretly has Council blood? That's a stretch, Love Dies. What about you? Do you keep samples of Council blood? Well, I do for medical reasons. They're locked down, though. Could someone have taken one?
I'm worried.
They're under high security. Anything suspicious recently? Nope. Has anyone been in your clinic who shouldn't be in there recently?
I'm a professional.
No. Although, I did catch Sam in there. He was just picking up his prescription, though.
Sure.
Can you check that the Council blood samples are all accounted for? Let me just pull up the inventory on my phone. Sorry, the app is taking ages to load. He's got a lot of extensions, you know.
Strange.
That's odd. There is one missing, but the security alarm didn't go off.
That's weird.
And whose sample is missing? Kafka Memories.
Ooh, the investigator is here.
That's interesting. There's an anomaly with Kafka's login to the Bloodlock. Oh, this is bad, Love
I
Dies.
have a bad feeling about this.
You don't need to tell me that, I assume. But I get it. I'm following what's happening. This puts you and or Sam at the scene. Well, and or anyone else who snuck in somehow. Let's not be jumping all the way to that conclusion. It's certainly very suspicious, though. I had nothing to do with this. A blood sample from your clinic was found on the seal. You found Sam snooping in your clinic. Maybe he took the sample and used it.
You've got this wrong.
Well, it sure as hell wasn't me. Hey, why don't we know who Henry's father is?
Hypothetically?
You mean, why wasn't that tracked like every other birth? Yeah, you're the doctor, after all. And when she gave birth, she said she didn't know who the father was. And what about DNA? The test came up blank. What?
I don't like this.
Isn't that concerning and also impossible? Very. Not a lot I can do, though. Okay, yeah, I guess that's fair. Why would a DNA test come up blank? We missed someone and don't have them recorded. I don't think this is important, Loved Eyes. I'm not sure how this relates to the council murder. So wait, there's just a person running around on the island that we don't know about? Doesn't that... That seems important. What if someone deliberately kept the birth a secret? Why would they do that? Someone having an affair they shouldn't be? That's a possibility, but they'd need some high-level clearance for that. Or access to you.
This is bad.
That's quite the accusation, investigator. I think Aiz Kiwami is Henry's father.
I had no idea.
What? The blood samples match.
Investigator.
The only place you could have got a sample of Kiwami's blood is from his grave. You broke into my best friend's grave to get a blood sample. You desecrate the resting place of someone I consider a brother to run around with some conspiracy theory?
What?
We're done here. I like you, investigator, and I'll help you with any genuine lines of inquiry, but I won't tolerate this. Okay, I mean, I get why he's upset about that. That's an objection that I think is pretty understandable. It's frustrating, though. You examined Grace's bloodlines when Henry killed her, right, Doc? Oh, a nasty one, for sure.
That's it.
Was there anything odd about the scene or the victim? You mean, odd for a case of demonic possession? I didn't get to examine the scene for long. Akiko was in a rush to contain the area, and it was a pretty open and shut case. That seems like a weird conclusion to come to before you've thoroughly investigated the scene. The markings on Grace were strange, though. Oh, in what way? Henry's other victim, his mother, had the same sigils scorched into her skin as Henry. Grace had those sigils, but they weren't scorched. They looked like they had been carved with a blade. Gross. The demon inside Henry burns with a cosmic fire, and Henry's victims receive the same branding. So, if he killed the council, they'd all carry the sigils. It depends on how he did it. I don't have a lot of evidence to support this, but I expect the sigils to only be scorched on victims he had sustained close contact with. A cut and run probably wouldn't do it, but a strangulation would. I should mention that I would expect the inhibitors to prevent or limit the scorching of those sigils into victims. Okay, so why were Grace's sigils cut into her, then? Well, I wrote it off to the madness of demonic possession. We don't know a whole lot about this kind of thing, so I figured he carved them himself as some kind of ritual. I can't say for sure, though. Huh. So... I mean, that certainly suggests that Grace Bloodlines was just pinned on him, right? Do we... man. This is one of those things where, like, I'm very frustrated by my own poor memory. Do we have... We'll worry about it later. Let's finish questioning first. Did you see the Grand Marshal last night?
I see.
Well, I saw Akiko after the murder when I examined Henry. Can't help you with anything before that, Loved Eyes. Have you spoken to Akiko? So, like, what are we thinking? Henry didn't have time to get from the prison all the way into the council chamber, kill everybody, then get back to the gate. We are assuming he was basically just moved to the gate and then apprehended there immediately, right? He was brought down the bridge, out through the thermite hole, and then just, like, put exactly where he needed to be caught. We're still lacking an awful lot of information here. There's still a great big hole in our understanding of the case, right in the center, sort of like a donut kind of situation. Is there anything else you can tell me about Henry's movements last night? Well, you've spoken to Akiko, right? She'll tell you what he did. She certainly told me something. What do you know about Henry's demonic possession 10 years ago? I don't know what to tell you, Loved Eyes. He's clearly possessed, and I wasn't at his arrest 10 years ago.
Theoretically.
If you think there's something suspicious, try the crime scene. His apartment in the Dead Zone. Now, what do you know about the Fourth Holy Seal? Not a thing, Loved Eyes. Council secrets and all that. So he suggested we visit the scene of the original thing in the Dead Zone. We were in a lot of places in the Dead Zone. Did we see that? There was that weird little underground room where somebody had clearly been, like, prepping a demon. But that's not... right? Ah, man. Okay. We did not get as much as I was hoping for from that. I mean, is it just time to go talk to Lydia? It might just be time to go talk to Lydia. We might need to press our social advantages here. At the very least, I need to hear what Lydia's excuse was for the tire tracks. So where do we go to speak to her? She's all the way over there on the other side of the island. We could go back to the dead zone real quick. Let's go. You know who else we need to talk to actually is Crimson. Because I have questions about what we discovered in KHX's lab. Let's maybe do that first, even. So let's see. She was in the sewers underneath. So this is our island. We came in over here. She's in the waterway, so like we want to go somewhere in the citizen housing, right? And then we just jump down into the waterway. It should be easy enough from there. Actually, this put us... I picked one that is, in fact, just like right in the waterway. Although, I think we're going to want to go over some stuff to get there most efficiently. Gosh, I love our improved mobility. On the one hand, I sort of wish you just started with this level of mobility, but on the other hand, I get that they want it to feel really good, and so they got to make you feel bad first, so you have a thing to compare it to. Yo, Crimson. Boy, I got some questions for you. But also, let's hang out. Tell me about your blessing. Huh. The 19th Island incident. It was a weird island from the beginning. Strange feeling in the air, like it was a powder keg waiting to go. About 2 centuries into it, the demonic invasion happened. You think it was a setup?
That's strange.
You mean by the Syndicate? A conspiracy? No, I don't think so. We discovered an Eden cult in the apartments. They'd convinced themselves a passing comet was the god. They were amateurs, but managed to reach out into space. The demons flooded in. How does this keep happening? Why don't we ever manage to prevent this? Well, try as you might, you can't stop insurrection in a society. The Syndicate never learn. If you mass abduct a population and enslave them, they're going to act out. Boy, act out's a hell of a term to use for that thing. That's the secret to Perfect 25. Carmelina and Masahiro came up with psychic retardant material for the buildings. Yo, we haven't spoken to Carmelina yet. Okay, that's also on the list. You're never going to stop the citizens reaching out to the gods. The islands have to be able to withstand it. So, you fought the fight and got blessed.
Don't be coy.
Huh, not just a pretty face, lady. Akiko and her marshals were pinned down at the temple. I held the line at the council building. Akiko's never forgiven me. She was convinced the demon general would go for the temple, but I believed otherwise. After the battle, the gods blessed me and I got this new head. Story time's over, lady. Be glad I didn't charge you for this. Go save Paradise instead of hanging around in a sewer. You know, I'll be back, I'm sure. I have that feeling, you know? She doesn't have any other kinds of Starlight upgrades available, right? Oh, she has skins. We're good. I like my skin. Oops, that's my Discord. Sorry, let me mute that. Let me just pretend that I'm good at my job at all here. Okay.
The investigator is here.
You know, Yuri's got some things to say about you. I bet he does. He isn't my biggest fan. He says you want to be a soldier again. Says you want to be in the Marshals. How'd you two start talking about that?
The investigator is here.
Just asking around about motives. You know, just asking strange people about other people's motives for no reason.
Secrets have a life of their own.
And he thinks that's enough to be my motive. That I'd kill the council just to try to be a marshal? Are you denying it?
Secrets breed
No, it's true. Lady, do you really think that's motive for mass murder? Well, honestly, no. It sounds pretty tenuous to me.
good work.
Well, I'm glad you said that. I was dreading the snakes getting to you. It's no secret I want out of a life forced on me. I would love to be a soldier again.
Hey,
It has to be done the right way, though, not through mass murder. So do you think Henry did it? Do you? I'm asking you, did we have this conversation already? This seems real familiar.
secrets are dangerous.
Well, I don't have enough details. How did he escape? How did he breach the seals? And the answer to every question seems to be a hand wave, and he's possessed by a demon. Inconvenient answers are dangerous. Yeah, I certainly agree with that. So, what secrets do you have? Anyone got a motive for last night?
Thank you.
Lady, I've got lots of secrets to sell. I can give you a lot of different people's motives. I just don't have an opinion about who did it.
Got it.
Well, okay, who's got motive then?
That's strange.
These all come at a price. I'm not handing out candy. Secrets take a lot of work to acquire. I've got something on the Grand Marshal, the Architect, the Doctor, the Happy Couple, and Witness.
Business is booming.
Take your pick, but come with your
Glad
wallet.
to be back.
Oh, you're gonna make a tidy
I
profit.
have my ways.
You got a point? Honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with information brokering. I think she's identified a solid market here. You know, a mass murder opens the market for people looking to buy secrets.
Hey,
Is that an accusation? I've still got some investigating to do. I'm gonna be straight up with you, lady. This island is full of snakes, and I want you to hear this from me. I hate what the Syndicate have done to me. I'm an idol they trot out to rally the citizens. I gloss over the misery with a pretty smile. Yep, there it is, right there. That's how pretty it is. I haven't got anything against idols, but this isn't for me. Montserrat devolved into paranoia. Sorry to speak ill of the dead. He was tightening his grip on us all. One of the first things to go on the next island is my little emporium. Dictators can't have someone peddling secrets, can they? And is that enough to drive you to kill the entire council? No. I didn't do it, but someone did, and they're going to want to shift the blame. That's why I'm being straight with you. I don't know if I trust her yet, but I do think it's extremely... It puts me a little bit at ease that she's so straightforward about her motive, you know? I think, probably, the person who actually did it is going to lie to us a little bit more. I guess the fact that I think that makes just telling me that you have a motive a pretty solid strategy, and maybe that's all that's happening here, but... I'm saying I have like 40% trust here, which is more than I have for pretty much anyone else. So where were you last night? I was here at my hideout waiting for Lydia's pickup. I'm always one of the last to leave the islands. Yuri thinks he's funny by making me wait. I left when Judge summoned everyone for the crisis meeting. Any evidence of that? None. Well, okay.
Got it.
That paints you in a bad light. I can only tell you the truth. If I knew a mass murder was going down, I've got a way to corroborate my alibi. Again, that kind of makes me trust her. So there weren't any whispers of what was about to happen. Nothing. If Henry didn't do this, whoever did it managed to keep it extremely quiet. And I'm just taking your word on that?
secrets breed mysteries.
I'm running a business here. If I had something, I'd sell it to you. Yeah, fair. We need to talk, Acid.
Weird.
You never call me Acid.
Is this a fact? Or a
Why
joke?
was KHX accusing you of stealing the key to the second Holy Seal?
Who knows?
Shit.
Time is repulsive.
This makes you a prime suspect. Spill it. I promise I didn't kill the Council. I need you to know that.
Got it.
Alright, get on with it. The Holy Seals are the holy grails of secret hunters. They're so locked down and under wraps.
Your truth is
I was
wrong.
losing sleep each night thinking about them. I knew KHX designed the second seal, so I started talking to him. I also knew he was obsessed with me.
Sure.
Why is she asking obsessed? We saw the evidence. We know exactly what she's talking about.
What?
More than I expected. I thought he was just horny for me. And she would know. But he'd got it into his head that if we achieved perfection on the next island, he'd ascend to heaven.
Paradise feels wrong.
His diary called you his queen in the astral heaven. Oh, good snooping, lady. Since I'm blessed by the gods, he coveted me as a trophy queen.
Who knows?
The guy was out of his mind.
Test me.
You keep using the past
Don't
tense.
be coy.
I'm not stupid. If the council got on the bad side of a killer, and the person who designed part of their security is missing, he's either dead, or might as well be.
Paradise feels wrong.
It does feel weird at this moment to just drop this question on her, but I guess why not? She seems to be pretty open with us. Did you do it?
Business is business.
Please. Even if he was going to squeal to Montserrat. I talked him down. I strung him along in a relationship. I could persuade him to do almost anything. Except to give you the secret to the second Holy Seal. There was a data key he guarded. I took it and I made a copy. How did you copy it? You ask a lot of questions. Have you forgotten who I am? Someone in Masahiro Heavy Industries owed me a favor. That favor was an hour in one of their high-end computer labs. It turned out to be a heavily encrypted digital key on a flash drive. I put the key back in his workshop, apologized profusely, and did something to take his mind off it.
Sure.
And did you use the key? No. Now I know where and how, though. The obelisk's on the beach. The key works on them. And that's the second seal secret.
Thank you.
No, there's more, but I don't know what. So why didn't you use the key?
Doesn't add up.
Bad vibes, lady. I could feel it in the air. Things were happening on the island.
Crime cannot hide.
You know, this still makes you a suspect, Crimson. I know. I'll say this. If she is the killer, it takes some serious guts to make this play, right? To just put yourself out and be like, yeah, I have tons of motive and no alibi. And like, just hang there in front of the investigator. If she's the killer, she's very scary. You know, I found a tuft of your hair in KHX's workshop. This is no longer terribly incriminating, though, right? The story she just told us very much explains this. And
The facts and the truth. are not
that
the
puts you
same.
at the scene of a disappearance. Come on, lady. You know that doesn't prove anything. Alright, we're just gonna go down the list with her. So why would Akiko kill the council?
Business is business.
Well, secrets aren't free. Yeah, no, I'm fine. That's cool.
Good work.
Oh, good crystals. Minimal imperfections. Akiko is a soldier through and through. She's also their leader. They're the only family she's ever wanted.
We're in a dark time.
The Marshals aren't syndicate, though. They're citizens. A security measure by Montserrat. Okay, that clarifies why all the Marshals have to die at the end of the island. I guess I had just not... I sort of thought they were like some kind of mid-level, right? Like there's citizens down here. These are the like effectively the servant class, and then in between there you have a policing class, and then up at the top you have the syndicate. But I guess it makes sense. There's nowhere else for them to draw people from, right? They don't have our immortality, and they don't get moved between islands.
Sure.
That makes them expendable, too. Precisely. Akiko has endured a millennia of sadness watching her troops die or get left behind. She wants them in the Syndicate, get them gene therapied up and create a battalion of immortal soldiers, end her heartache. She's motioned the Syndicate to try and get her marshals inducted, and been refused every time. She's hurting, and she's angry.
What the hell?
So what does she get from murdering the council? She wouldn't be promoted to a position where she can change the rules and keep her marshals alive between islands. No, but she'd use the murder to scare the new council. The Untouchables became touched by the hand of death. That's one of the worst things to get touched by. And she can argue for increased militarization on the next island, scapegoat it on a citizen and panic the next council into creating martial law with troops inducted into the Syndicate.
Ooh, the investigator is here.
Use loyal troops rather than expendable troops. And of course, it's important to note, all of them will know exactly who made them immortal, so they're loyal to Akiko, not to the Syndicate. And precisely. Montserrat was always scared of immortal soldiers having dangerous thoughts and leading a coup. If Akiko did this, she proves that the threat isn't from the Marshals.
Got it.
Hey, you got any proof of any of this?
Coy.
Oh, I sure do. I pulled this from the Moon database. You never know when something like this will come in useful.
I'm I'm glad to
Okay,
hear that.
that's interesting. I don't know that it'll be terribly useful to confront Akiko with that or anything though, because she'll just be like, yeah, of course I want my people not to be dying all the time, obviously. Lady, here's more. I haven't got proof, so I'm not charging you for what I'm about to say. But Akiko falls in love with her troops. That's why she hurts so much. She's had a string of relationships throughout the islands.
That's weird.
Is there someone special on this island?
I have my ways.
Captain Voth. He's the highest-ranking marshal under Akiko. The highest-ranking marshals are chosen to guard the council during the birth of a new island. So he was murdered last night, except he wasn't, right? So the plan would have been for Voth to be at the gates, but she pulled him and replaced him with someone else. Some other citizen who's not even really a marshal, at least as far as Starlight is considered. But again, there is that possibility that maybe Starlight's not giving us the right information because the database is corrupted, which we know is a thing. But like this makes a lot of sense. If she was involved in making sure the marshals at the gate got killed, then she pulls Voth because she's in love with him. She doesn't want anything to happen to him, but she needs the guy at the gate to die.
Doesn't add up.
Sure looks that way. So if her lovers are dying when the island ends, her motive is to kill the council to push her agenda through, and get her marshals into the syndicate and make them immortal.
Ooh, the investigator.
That's a pretty big bet to make.
Who knows?
Well, I agree. Something doesn't add up.
Ah,
I'm not convinced Voth died last night.
Secrets breed mystery.
Don't tease, lady. That sounds like a secret. And don't secrets have costs?
Secrets breed mysteries.
I'll refund you for our earlier transaction. Do I want to give this information to her? Yeah, you know what? If there's anyone on the island that I want on my side, it's Crimson Acid. Alright, it's a deal. Taking my first steps into the secret trading industry.
Thank you.
Pleasure doing business.
sure.
So the dead marshals outside the council building aren't marshals. The blood doesn't match. So, where are the real marshals? Yeah, I'm working on that.
Thank you.
If you want to enter the Viper's Nest, you could try the barracks. If I was a marshal looking to lay low, I'd be in there. They don't let anyone in.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll see what I can find. I sure wish that I had the ability to, like, go into the barracks and talk to anyone and not just get thrown out of my ass immediately. That is definitely a problem we need to solve. So, why would Carmelina want to kill the council? You know this costs, right? Yeah. Carmelina isn't allowed on the council. The Silence family were barred from ever being on the council. You remember her father's crime, right? Romeo's fall from grace?
That's it.
He was deceived by cosmic deceit, which seems like an unfair thing to blame a guy for. Bingo. Cosmic deceit deceived him with promises of power. Standard stuff. Cosmic deceit wanted Romeo to sacrifice Crying Grudge in a ritual. And that would give Cosmic Deceit enough power to resurrect. Resurrecting the gods is our mission, but not at the expense of deceptions and sacrificing other gods. Yeah, like the whole thing we're doing here is trying to increase the number of gods, right?
Don't be coy.
Romeo was stopped before he could go through with it. His punishment was execution, and the rest of his family being barred from a council seat for eternity. That feels a little unfair.
That's strange.
And the ruling still stands? Carmelina's on the throne right now. The judge thinks they made the right call. It's a temporary situation.
Thank you.
She's the highest rank outside of the council, and we're about to move to a new perfect island that Carmelina designed. This is a lot of motive. And this transition to our eternal home needs to go right, and she's best placed to get us through it. And has Carmelina protested the ruling in the past? Well, she's submitted motions to have the ruling overturned and to get on the council. They've all been denied, though. Can I see these
I
motions?
have my ways.
Of course, I pulled them from the Moon database. I'll give you a little extra for free. I don't know if this helps with anything, though. About 25 years ago, Carmelina went into isolation for a year. No one saw her. Do you have any idea why? Well, she said it was for work. She had a new project and didn't want to be disturbed. Nothing ever came of it, though. We were never shown the fruits of her labor.
The investigator is here.
And why do you think this matters? You know when you get a bad feeling and it festers? Maybe I just needed to say it out loud. Maybe it means something. Okay, I'll see what I find. And it's definitely weird. I don't know that it's connected to anything. Now, why would Doomjazz kill the council?
Nice doing business with you.
You got the cash to pay for a secret? This is a big one. The Syndicate's origins aren't what they seem. Yeah, ooh, 3 blood crystals, look out. He knows the original secret. Before the First Island, during the Great Betrayal, Montserrat made a mistake that got Doomjazz's father killed. This was before you joined up with the Syndicate. He was our original military general, a legendary soldier. I'd always heard rumors about him before I joined. Now, there weren't many humans the gods feared, but he was one of them. When the Syndicate fled to the First Island, Montserrat made a stupid call to investigate a tomb that was supposed to contain a heavenly weapon. He was wrong. There was nothing there. Doomjazz's father attempted to hold off the pursuing armies during Montserrat's folly. There was too much. Our pursuers broke through and killed half the Syndicate before we got
In
away.
a dark time.
The incident was struck from history, but some of the existing council members know about it.
Thank you.
Aiz Kiwami likes to talk when he's had a drink, and Doomjazz was his closest friend. He let the secret slip. Yeah, it feels like a lot of information goes that way. From Aiz Kiwami to Doomjazz, and then to whatever woman happens to be nearby. Aiz Kiwami had some skeletons in his closet, and he got found out. The next island was going to be a bad time for him. He took his own life a few years ago. They'd been friends since the Great Betrayal, hadn't they? Aiz got Doomjazz out of the torture chamber where he lost his arms. Doomjazz refused to give up his medical studying, even as the haunted ziggurat in Scotland was besieged. He was captured, tortured, and fled after Aiz broke him out. They were late joining up with the Syndicate, and Doomjazz missed his father's death, but by that time it had been covered up. Okay, I mean, that's a lot of information. So why does Doomjazz have a photo of Akiko, you reckon?
Business is booming.
You gotta pay, lady.
Good
Yeah.
work.
He was in a relationship, and he still loves her. It didn't work out. She can't relate to people who aren't soldiers, and he can't keep his dick in his pants. Well, if he had some higher-waisted pants, I think it would help. Also, a real belt buckle. Speaking from personal experience? You're one to talk. Why does that give him motive for the council murder, though? The original secret.
Is business.
Montserrat was planning on doing a similar operation that got Doomjazz's father killed. A suicide mission for Akiko. And Doomjazz found out.
That's strange.
So he'd killed the council to protect her. And wouldn't you kill a bureaucrat to save the person you love? Hey, what do you know about Lydia and Sam?
Business is business.
I know that it will cost you. I know about their last job.
Strange.
What last job? Back in the day, Lydia told you that after she met Sam, they left the world of assassination for good, right? Well, it isn't that easy. Once you're in that world, you're bound to it until you fulfill all of your duties. Hey, listen, I've seen John Wick. I know what's
Have
up.
my way.
An assassin is the most effective tool in the world, and all tools have owners. In order to leave their old life behind, Lydia's former master had her do one last job.
Add up.
She had to destabilize a government in Europe. Several dead officials allowed for regime change.
That's weird.
Why didn't she tell me this? We've been friends for, millennia. Oh, she's ashamed. They vowed to end the killing. Sam helped her do the job. They were in it together. That's not as romantic as the story they told everyone, is it?
Don't be coy.
Always be suspicious of romantic stories, lady. Life does not work like that. You know, honestly, I don't know that this story is less romantic. So, is this what the council murder is? Regime change? Who can say? Was it revenge? A crime of passion? A regime change? Thinks you've got some investigating to do. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that'll be more obvious looking back on it from, say, a few years from now. Do you know why Witness would want to kill the council? Let's see your crystal. Yeah. Well, I know Witness was growing to despise Montserrat.
You.
Montserrat was tightening his grip on us all. Montserrat was giving in to paranoia, worried about his precious, perfect island.
Secrets are dangerous.
And history was repeating. The island was shrouded in fear. We'd all grown complacent and happy in our freedoms. Montserrat has always been building toward a perfect island and a perfect syndicate. And as you know, the syndicate was formed with the goal of resurrecting our gods. 24 islands in, and we were not doing a good job. Almost all of the pyramids out in the ocean sit empty. Montserrat didn't care, though. He decided that was step 2. So step 1 was the syndicate. Our efforts have always been divided between resurrecting the gods and improving the islands. If Montserrat could make the syndicate perfect, we could give our full attention to the gods. So why wouldn't Witness want to go along with that? You've been gone a while. Montserrat changed, and so did Witness. Witness didn't trust Montserrat at
The
all.
investigator is here.
Has Witness been deceived by a god? Not that I'm aware of. I never had that suspicion, anyway. I think this is just some self-radicalization.
Be coy.
He slipped further and further into worship and fear of the Astral Masters. You don't need to be deceived into being a servant when you've got a healthy dose of the end times fear in you.
What the hell?
So, Witness murders the Council to put the fear of the gods into them and refocus the Syndicate on our holy mission? I'm not saying that's what happened, but if you want to pin a motive on Witness, that's what I'd go with. I don't know, man, that feels a little abstract. You know, Witness believes we're heading for the end times. Well, it is literally his job to believe that. So how can we have end times if our gods are dead or dormant? Only a handful of gods came to Earth. The rest of them are out there. The gods are self-serving morons. They've never looked out for their own kind. Take it up with Witness. I have no time for religious debates. That's true, I shouldn't be arguing his beliefs with her. Did you see Witness last night? I heard Carmelina went to visit him last night. You should speak to her. Yes, I absolutely should. Any idea how I could track down a phone number?
Work.
I have my ways. I can run a search for you. There's a service charge, of course. Yeah, well, I mean, like, I effectively have infinite currency, so sure. What's the number? You know, that
I
one.
have my ways.
Let's see. Nothing. That number isn't registered to a phone on the island. That's curious. Are there unregistered phones? No, Masahiro controls the phone output. Everything is registered. I have a backdoor into their system, so I can scope the numbers. Is there anything else that could have a number attached to it? Not a clue. You're going to need to go looking. That is very strange. You know, I don't know why. I thought this was going to be a quick swing through. We were going to ask her, like, one question, then be out of here. This has been, like, super helpful. This has been way more the thing I wanted to get out of, like, Henry and Akiko. Did you see Yuri last night? Yuri handles Lydia on the last night of an island. You should speak to her. Yes, I should speak to her. Can you tell me anything about the marshals stationed at the first seal? I mean, it sounds like I know more than she does about it. Well, I already told you, one of the guards was Voth, Akiko's lover. Akiko must be pretty upset.
That's weird.
And you haven't heard anything strange about the marshals on the night? Things take a little while to flow downstream. Need to wait for loose lips. Do you know anything about the third Holy Seal? I know that it'll cost you. Yeah. Again, this is a thing where I almost certainly know more than she does, but... It's a bloodlock.
The hell?
And how do you know that?
You.
I have my ways. Someone let it slip.
Sure.
Who? Aiz Kiwami. And what made him tell you? That will always be my secret. I know what it was. It was a single drink.
Got it.
Who else knows? Who can say? May the gods carry him through the cosmos, but he was easy to manipulate. He had a weakness for women and easily gave in to cosmic fear. Who knows who talks to who on this island? Who knows what secret meetings happen in quiet rooms? Who knows what gets said when someone has the fear of the gods put into
I
them?
have a bad feeling about this.
Well, that narrows it down. Do you know anything about how the council enter the penthouse? If I knew the secrets of the seals, we wouldn't be doing this dance. I don't mean the seals. I mean, how do they go in and out frequently? Like, are they in there every day? The penthouse is reserved for special business. It takes a lot to get the council in there. Big building to be hardly ever used. Montserrat loves his concrete. He wanted something large and imposing. Something to reach to the heavens without the audacity of Babylon. Okay, well, why not build it on the mountain if he wants to reach to the heavens? The mountain is reserved for holy grounds. The temple's carved into it. You don't argue with the High Priestess. Anyway, Montserrat decided that the council would only enter the penthouse together. His paranoia was growing unabated. Did you know he always carried a gun? The old Montserrat never used to do that. So, it would be weird if I have evidence of a council member entering by themselves 2 days before the murder.
Who knows?
Well, if a council member did that, they'd be going directly against against our leader. Risky move. None of us are privy to everything that happens with the council, so I can't say for sure. I haven't heard anything about council members disobeying him, though. If that's the evidence you've got, something is definitely suspicious. Have you got any product that relates to Henry's father? Digging in the past, lady. Is there truth in the mists of time? An investigator investigates. That's why they call him that. The third holy seal's a bloodlock that requires council blood, and I need to know where Henry got that blood from. Henry's father is an odd one, isn't it? The Syndicate controlled this island, the citizens monitored like cattle, and this slipped through, though.
Who knows?
I've been trying to find out the answer myself. I don't like unknowns.
Thank you.
I haven't got much, but I do have something to sell. Okay. I've got records of some private financial transactions between Rena Division and Aiz Kiwami.
Sure.
What kind of transactions? Aiz was giving her money. Henry was born 27 years ago, right? These transactions date back to 27 years and 5 months ago. And? I thought you were an investigator. Why would a powerful council member be giving personal money in secretive transactions to a female citizen 5 months before her only child was born? Why is Lady Lovedyes acting like this is new information to us? We found a spot where the script doesn't quite auto-adjust for the information that we have. Do you know anything about One Last Kiss? Is that her name? She's good at hiding herself, but I've seen her.
That's it.
Do you know who she is? I figure some kind of spirit. I don't know who she was in her former life, though. And what do you know about the murder of Grace Bloodlines? Me asking this question so bluntly right now basically just tells Crimson Acid the answer to that question, and I feel like we should have charged her for it, right? Ah, that makes sense.
Business is business.
You know, I have got something good. Are you buying? I feel like you should just give it to me because the thing I just gave you. Fair trade.
What? Don't be coy.
Do you think it's strange that Carmelina went to the exorcism?
Investigator is here.
It does seem like a dangerous situation for the architect, and also one that she does not benefit from being in at all. Very. There was a reason, though. Some syndicate members use encryption in messages to each other. There's a lot of politics and scheming on the islands, after all.
I have my ways.
I monitor any communications that I can. The network traffic is mostly boring, but sometimes someone forgets to encrypt something. While Carmelina was heading to Henry's apartment with Grace, she messaged Akiko and told her to step out of the room while Grace was doing the exorcism.
That's strange.
Her so-called lapse in procedure was planned, then. Sure was, lady. Sounds like a plot to me. Yeah, I mean, I always kind of figured it was. It's good to have confirmation,
I
though.
have a bad feeling about
Well, my work is never done.
Ooh, the investigator is
You got a copy of this message? Uh-huh. They realized the mistake and scrubbed their phones afterwards, so don't expect to be able to confirm this with their phones. Yeah, no, that's alright. Besides, it was 10 years ago. Everyone's gotten a Masahiro upgrade since then. So I figured there was no good reason for her to step out of the room. Like, I figured she stepped out of the room so that exactly what happened could happen. But now we know for sure. Did you see the Grand Marshal last night? Well, I didn't see Akiko last night. You should speak to her. What about the doctor? Did you see the doctor last night? I know something about his clinic, but won't charge you. Find the back door. Yeah, that's very helpful, thank you. Is there anything else you can tell me about Henry's movements last night?
Thank you.
I've got nothing more than what Akiko says. And what do you know about the escape last night? Secrets about that haven't worked their way to me about Henry's escape. If you think there's more to it than there seems, there might be physical evidence near the scene. And if what the report says is true, the only way to the council building is through the Syndicate HQ. If he went through there, he'd have been logged. Check the Nightmare computer. Alright, well, she's trying to be helpful. And what do you know about the second Holy Seal? Only what I told you before. I got the key, but I don't know what's behind the seal or what the secret is. What do you know about Henry's demonic possession 10 years ago?
Money.
Henry's possession worries me. Nothing has surfaced about it. It's either as they say, or someone is keeping it a secret. How did he get the knowledge to communicate with the gods? The library in the HQ is full of forbidden grimoires. And what do you know about the fourth Holy Seal?
I have my ways.
Well, it's an open secret that it requires some kind of godliness to get through. An open secret. Word got out a while back. From who? Not sure, it just kind of bubbled up. Someone probably got loose-lipped after a drink. Gee, I wonder who that might have been. So everyone in the Syndicate would know how to breach it then. Not the specifics, but if anyone says they don't know anything about it, they're lying. Trying to cover their asses, now you're here.
Business
Well,
is
time to uncover some asses. You know, the thing I'm best at. Okay, that was actually really useful. So, we definitely need to talk to Carmelina. We also definitely need to talk to Lydia. We did, I guess, spend kind of a lot of crystals there. Also, for some reason, I don't have this fast travel thing unlocked. What am I doing? Incomprehensible. The universe will kill you. If you ever learn the true nature of it, you will die. The enormity of the universe will crack your mind in two. Listen, I know all about the total perspective vortex. You know, looking at the clock, I think probably the next couple of conversations we have are going to be real big ones, so I'm going to go ahead and just wrap it up here for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, tomorrow, like I said, I think it's going to be kind of a big one. We are absolutely not going to get distracted. This is my solemn promise to you. We're going to talk to Lydia. We're going to talk to Carmelina. We are going to figure some things out. And then, maybe if there's time, try to figure out how to actually do something in the barracks. And we'll see you then.